Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Fish House. This is. May I help you?
Yes. I've got a special request here. I've got quite a larger son. He's a big boy. I'm not gonna kid you. He's probably close to 300 pounds. He's like 7 years old.
Okay.
He's still in diapers and stuff. Do you guys have a changing table that can support him?
A what?
Like a changing table. He's still in diapers. He's special ed and stuff, but.
We have just our regular chairs. We don't have, like, what kind of like a chair?
Well, like in the bathroom, like makes a mess. He eats a lot of fish, and then he like does his thing, you know.
Okay, like in the bathroom, you're wondering?
Well, yeah. I just need somewhere like to change him and stuff.
Well, I'm as happy as a boy could be. There ain't no gray skies over me.
Welcome back, my reptile junkies. God, that feels weird because we just ended one going into another one, but I told you I'd get another video out there, so ha.
Yeah. I get it.
Anyway, guys, like I told you in the last video, I'm going to be cleaning Poseidon's enclosure anyway. I spared you all the boring stuff of cleaning the bowl and scrubbing. I threw all that right there in the beginning, but yeah, I guess we're going to dive in. Talk about the care of this beast a little bit, kind of give you some more insight on what's been working for me, so let's jump right into it, guys. Well, a lot of you guys know Poseidon. It's my Asian water monitor, Indonesian water monitor, whatever you want to call him. He is a monster dinosaur. We've had Poseidon, I guess now, 6 years, 5, 6, 7 years. I have to go actually honestly and look back on my Facebook not long after we moved here, so we've been here for 7 years. Oh god, guys, I tell you, I always wanted a giant lizard. The tegu's pretty large as it is, but this dude is just giant. One thing with Poseidon though, over the years, I don't know if you can see that eye or not right there. Let me see your eye, buddy. Right after we got Poseidon, I noticed that he had like a cataract on that eye, and we took him to the vet, which is our local vet, Highland Animal Hospital, and I could tell that they had really never seen a lizard this large, probably not too many lizards, period. He said he confirmed it was either a cataract or he could have been losing vision. It could even be a cancer, but that was back when we first got Poseidon, and the only course of action was to get a referral to University of Georgia to their lab there, and maybe they could have done something, but chances are very slim after some of the research I did. What probably caused that was bad water quality would be one. Poor diet could have been one. He might have just been fed something generic and didn't really have a varied diet. The other thing that it could have actually been, it could have been wrong kind of lighting, or lighting that was left on for too long and he didn't get out of it, wasn't able to get out of it, and therefore created a cataract. had never really seemed to bother him, so we just let it be what it is, you know. Of course, if he ever started messing with that eye or rubbing it against stuff, and he did do that at the beginning a very little bit.
Beginning. Yep.
And we treated it with a cream they give us, and it seemed to have at least alleviated the pain, or either whatever the disease is there progressed enough that he just doesn't have any feeling in that eye. But he can still see shadows out of that eye.
He hasn't had any problems with it since that medicine, though.
No, I mean, you know, other than it's milky, and you can tell he's definitely going blind in that eye. But he's an old boy. So back to his enclosure, though. I know I kind of got off on a ramble. I'm famous for doing that. I always end up going down some little rabbit hole once I get talking about a certain subject. But I guess I'm hold the camera back. What Poseidon has in here is a 10-foot by 12-foot. A lot of you guys are familiar. This was the old reptile room. And once we moved the reptile room, once we closed in the back deck and moved everything out there, Poseidon took this over. I said in the last video, to me, guys, this is like bare minimum for a monitor his size. It's really something that people really need to know what they're getting into when they try to go down this journey on one of these big lizards like this. This is a 300-gallon Rubbermaid cattle trough, same size that I've got the saltwater pond made out of. It's piped. There's a hose that goes out and goes out in my yard, and I move it around to different plants, so it kind of works as a fertilizer. It's not actually just wasting the water. And then that pipe right there comes from my reverse osmosis water, and that's actually where I fill it. I actually fill it two different ways. One way I fill it is by my Rubbermaid trash cans I got, and I keep those full. I'll pump them right in with a little pump, and then to make up the difference, I'll just turn the reverse osmosis on right there, and it just easily takes, I've got 100 gallon a day, so normally over about 2 days it'll take to top off his water bowl, and then by that point, usually on day 3 or 4, it's a giant poo. And then it's,
if you're lucky, that many days,
draining it again and refilling it. And then I'll give you the camera back. But draining it again, refilling it, never in a process. I mean, it's not that hard with the drain, because as you saw, I come here with the water hose it down. I usually hose everything down, knock off the heavy solids pretty good, and then I come back with one of my sprayers. Usually I keep F10 in one. I really like F10, especially being in an enclosed area and him being so large. I don't have no reason to take him out of here and lock him in the bathroom, which we've done that before.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Big lizards can get out of the bathtub.
Yeah, it was bad. But with the F10, it's not like bleach, so I don't have to take him out. It's not so noxious to their senses, because if you can imagine a lizard with a forked tongue, God, bleach. I mean, they kind of like taste and smell at the same time. Could you imagine? And then the mucous membranes in most reptiles.
At this point, everybody should know what that's like because of all the hand sanitizer.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Use hand
sanitizer. The government slowly killing us all with COVID. So, yeah, same thing. Could you imagine? But I can't. Oh, that's rough, isn't it?
Yeah.
F10 though, it does really well. It's a contact solution though. I guess some people miss that fact about F10. There's a window. Being a contact cleaner, what I mean by that is at 1 minute, 0 to 1 minute, is killing X amount of bacteria. 1 to 2 minute, X amount of bacteria. To get its full potential is like 15 to 20 minutes of contact. So when you actually spray down your F10 in your enclosure, I usually give it 10, 15 minutes. Now, when I'm doing a heavy clean, I do a 10 milliliter to this bottle. Recommend it's 5 milliliter. I just double it up because I usually leave it. On the surface, especially like around his bedding, his sunning area here. I spray it, and I'm just trying to essentially get a residual effect going. Here, I spray down heavily, let it sit. The basking ramp or the off ramp here, because you can see, he's pooed here, but when he poos in here, he drags that bacteria up this ramp to here, and then all the way down through here. You can see a little bit still. I'll get the pressure washer eventually and get all that. But all that bacteria, guys, is being spread all throughout where he goes, and then onto his pig blanket under there. So that bacteria is constantly getting moved around in here and building up different places. And so with that F10, it's not as noxious, like I said, as the bleach, and so you can spray it down. Yes, I hose it off, but you can also come back and add like just a surface mist, just to kind of leave that residual effect, and it's good, you know, as far as killing the bacteria for a while. F10 is also good at being like a mold retardant, things of that nature. I know people that use it in their eggs, their incubators. I actually used it in my incubator. It's a really good product. It's worth the money. If you use it as prescribed, 5 to 10 milliliters of F10 will last you a good long time, guys, in a squirt bottle, especially with a collection the size of ours. And I just ordered off Amazon in a small bottle, like 35 bucks or so. But anyway, I'm rambling again. Here on his basking area, I'm thinking about adding a third light, but these are two 250 watt mercury vapor, which actually this one here is a mercury vapor at present. That one just went out today. I had to replace it with just a regular heat light, 250 watt. With him sitting here, his back gets up to about 115-ish. I know that I've heard people that keep theirs up to 130 for a basking area. I've said it before. I believe that maybe, I guess if you're feeding a lot of chicken. I don't feed chicken. The closest thing to chicken that Poseidon gets is actually day-old chicks. So with that being said, the fish and day-old chicks, they actually break down.
That's interesting. The next
we'll get to that.
Couple of days.
My opinion on that, and I could be totally wrong, but it's worked for me now for well over 5 years or so with him. But the proteins are different. He breaks down the chicks and the fish a lot quicker than he breaks down chicken. I've fed him chicken a few times, and I've noticed there's about a day in between when he takes a poo after eating chicken versus when he takes a poo when he eats fish and day-old chicks. Yeah. April's comment about the day-old chicks, though, that's because his feathers, they don't break down in the poo. So when he goes to the bathroom in here, after I feed chicks, it is...
It looks like somebody had a pillow fight with a feather pillow.
There's feathers, yellow feathers everywhere. And I don't know if you, not to be nasty, but I mean, it just is what it is. I don't know if you busted into a day-old chick, but when you bust into that day-old chick, it's just like an egg, isn't it? It's like egg yolk, guys, inside that chick. So Poseidon sometimes, and the Tegu too, when they chomp that chick, it's like, and it's like a donut. Busted, jelly donut or something.
That's terrible.
You get like yellow yolk just.
To be clear, these are not live chicks.
No, they're frozen from Perfect
and we don't raise them.
I'll throw a picture up here. Not yet, but I got some rat racks coming. We do got some chicks. Some chickens.
You're not getting not a single one.
The Tegu eats all the eggs.
We feed off a lot of eggs. You're not getting any baby chicks.
No, but I'm rambling again. Okay, on the Poseidon's enclosure here. So we have the 300 gallon. Talked about that. It's piped. Talked about his hot spot where he can sit and bask under these two mercury vapors. During the winter, I run this one. That's another mercury vapor. It's just there to heat the pond. It heats the pond really well. And then, of course, under here, I don't know if you can see that, there is a pig blanket. It's like the 48-inch pig blanket. I've got it set up on the thermostat, but it still won't reach. The thermostat's set at like 115. The hottest I've ever recorded that pig blanket during the dead heat of summer is about 105, 108 is about how high it gets. He spends most of his time on it. I see him on the pig blanket Poseidon's life usually revolves around feeding, cooling down in his pond. He likes to swim it. He'll swim it round and round, get some good exercise, and then he goes to the pig blanket. Now, I actually fed him before I made this video, and that was honestly just to kind of keep him from bothering me so much, because if I'm in here and he hadn't eaten, he's relentless. He's going to follow me around. I got flip-flops on. See that? I kind of value my toes. So there's this pond. There's his pig blanket, his basking area. Now, during the winter, guys, it just does not, the ambient temps stay too low. So I actually added just this little small heater. It's just it has a fan, so it blows from here. And then up there, I don't know how good you can see them, it's just 2 ECU fans. I got a control knob here. And them little suckers there, they hum. And I can actually take one and push it up and one facing down. And that does, I mean, these 2 little fans, to be so small, and I'll turn it back so I'm not talking over you. To be so small, they work perfect at circulating the air in here. The positive to their size is that they actually don't dry it out super quick. Now, I had a larger fan I played with for a little while, and with that larger fan, what I noticed is that the enclosure was drying out like way too quick. I like it to maintain, 60, 65-ish percent, 70% is ideal in here. That's really hard for me to maintain in such a big room. What I do normally is I just bring the hose in and I hose, all the substrate down. I don't want it saturated so it's soaked and I start having mold issues. But I do wet it down enough so it holds a good ambient humidity in here. And I let it just dry out in between. So normally I'll hose it down generally in the mornings before I go to work, or in the afternoons as soon as I get home from work, and then by the very next day, following afternoon, depending on what the weather's been like here, I'll have to skip a day just to make sure everything gets good and dry. And then the other big thing that has helped is turning over substrate. So like I was saying, he doesn't really poo a lot of times on the substrate. I mean, he does have his accidents here and there, but for the most part, when he goes to the bathroom, it's usually in the good old water trough, and then I have to deal with it. Or it's right there where that white is. It's coming out of the trough, usually right here, so pretty, and I mean just showered, or right there. I mean, it's usually right in this area. So when he actually does go down here, I'll normally, right away, I usually take my F10, spray it down, let it soak, that 15-20 minute window, usually 20 minutes on poo. But I go ahead and I get up the hard solids first. I put my rubber glove on, get it up, bag it, spray it down with the F10, and then I'll just mix it in. That's worked great. I mean, it doesn't stink out here at all until he actually drops one, and then
that's awful.
Then it's bad. It's death. I couldn't imagine having one in my house. And that's kind of what we was going to talk about in the video is, do they make good pets? Well, yeah, I mean, they do. They're awesome, very rewarding. Yeah. But you got to have the space to have it. This is in my garage, so I couldn't imagine having one inside.
No.
Could you imagine?
There's no way.
Jesus. I mean, I love my critters, but I don't want to be smelling that, waking up in the morning and that. Geez, man, it would be
You
just
walk
awful.
out here and the whole place smells
17 minutes. We got to hurry up.
That's on you.
I'm just rambling on about him, but just trying to express that, I love him. Me and somebody had a conversation about that, and that's why I said I don't really show Poseidon as much, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea that it's just as glamorous. Oh, it's great, because it is some work. I'm dirty right now. I've been out here for a good while cleaning. You got to stay on top of it. We ain't even got into food.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's expensive, very expensive.
If I couldn't catch as many fish as I catch for him.
I couldn't imagine. That supplement's a huge part of his diet.
I feed him more than half of his diet is fresh fish, about 12-inch to 14-inch largemouth spotted bass or brim. I'll feed him right to him whole like you saw in the clip, and I'll probably throw up another feed of him eating the bass. He loves bass. He loves them.
And of course, having fresh eggs now doesn't hurt
either.
with a lot of the animals.
We do eggs, fresh eggs. Sometimes I boil them, feed them to him whole. He'll just crush them whole, take them. That's eggshell. It's good for calcium. But a lot of your calcium is made out of eggshell.
And a lot of the different ones like the eggs, though. Raw,
they do, yeah. They do. All the monitors.
The skink
all
loves
the
it.
Skink.
The blue tongue, he loves a raw egg.
Eggs are huge. But being able to supplement his diet alone with the fish is huge.
Huge.
I really don't. I don't know how much it would cost.
I don't either. I'd rather not think about it.
Oh God! But still, I go out. I'll shoot squirrels. I'm out of squirrels. I need to make it a point to shoot some more this season. He's had deer meat. He gets baby day-old chicks. Now that's the stuff I actually have to buy. Day-old chicks, tilapia fillets, of course rats. I don't feed him a whole lot of rats.
And you learn to stay on top of your manager specials for your meats and stuff.
But that being said, too, guys, that's a two-edged sword, depending on where the meat's coming from. If it's a butcher shop deal, and I know like it's free range, I will feed him Walmart meat too, but the antibiotics it's in the meat. It affects them totally different. The antibiotics, the way they metabolize food is by bacteria. So if your reptile's getting antibiotics, which we do the same, it's depleting that bacterial bioload in your animal and therefore making his health go down and down and down. And even though you can do everything you want, those bacteria in our food are really bad, and I can't stress that enough. Same with like the pesticides in the greens and things for your herbivore animals.
Well, one good thing is they are starting to really label a lot of that stuff.
They are.
Antibiotic-free, organic stuff.
Non-GMO stuff. I don't think the
little bit more.
I don't think the non-GMO, it might have nutritional aspects to it. And I also question GMO stuff on the digestion part of it, like how in your digestion tract, how is that the health of that, because that food being genetically modified means your body's going to break it down and synthesize it ultimately different than non-GMO food. That's a totally another subject. Just kind of nerding out on that, thinking, there again, guys, going down the rabbit hole, trying to cram too much information. 20 minutes, I'm about to end this video, so I'm trying to maintain under that 20-25 minute mark, because I know that gets long to watch me ramble on about whatever.
See, it couldn't get you to start, and now they can't get you to stop.
Yeah, I can't get me to shut up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is what you're asking for. So, but try your best to buy, or long story short, try your best to buy organic. You can't do it all the time. I get it. If you're not buying organic, wash it good. Same as your meat. Try to get free range, antibiotic free, or at least there's some people use herbal antibiotic supplements and things in the food, which is probiotics.
Yeah.
Would be a herbal. I don't know. Just you try to do that. Your animals will thank you, and you'll get a lot more longer lifespan and a lot healthier animals by taking that practice, for sure. But, dang. I don't know. I feel like there's so much more to cover. I hope I nailed down a good bit of it, though, about the water monitor. Got any questions, of course, leave them below, guys. Good to see you. It's good to be back. Like I said, I hope I covered a bunch of nonsense and that you enjoyed my ramblings. If not, I'm sorry. Try again. Guys, have yourself an awesome week. Trying to get back to it. 2 videos. I dropped 2. You gave me.
This will be 3.
Well, it will. It's almost 3, duh. Well, I'm talking about here, so.
Well, still, you videoed animals rather than fishing.
If you didn't catch that one, go watch it. I know it was long. It was like 40 minutes. I wish I would cut mine down like Tony did, but hey, you get what you get. Hope you enjoy it. Guys, thanks again. Stay safe. See you next time.